FunNGun. Got another cool one here on the table for you today. We have a Girsan Witness 2311 Match X. I want to say a big thanks to my anonymous friend for letting me borrow this particular gun. He does not want me to say his name in this video, so we're not going to. I also want to say a big thanks to Sealy Optics for making me an affiliate of their brand. If you're looking for a good budget-friendly red dot, you can go ahead and use the link in the description there and use code FunNGun at checkout to get 10% off everything on the website. Okay, let's go ahead and start off by showing you that this gun is unloaded. There is nothing in the chamber there, nothing in the magazine. I'm gonna go ahead and set that off to the side here. We're gonna start off with what you get with the gun. First off, you're gonna get this nice hard case with the Girsan logo on there. It has these little blocks on the side of it here. And this case has it where you can lock it, and you should be able to fly with this case as well, and it is also watertight. So on the first floor, you're gonna have a spot right here cut out for the gun. You're gonna have your 20 round Checkmate magazine, a place for another magazine. And then in the bottom layer here, you're gonna have the instruction manual. And this is something that's pretty cool. You don't get with a lot of guns, especially made in America here. This is the target where they test fired this gun. It was made on 1/6/25. Read that backwards there, but this gun was fired at 15 meters or roughly a little over 16 yards. It tells it is a 9mm and who test fired it. And as you can see there, it actually prints a pretty decent group there. So get that. You're gonna get a little brochure here. The little rubber part right here that you can use to deactivate the grip safety or just for looks when it's in the store to make it stand out. And the little tag that goes on the grip there when you get it. Chamber lock here. Most people don't use those. You get a nice brass cleaning brush, a spare spring if you want to shoot it, which actually these are in the wrong bag here. You get a spring for 124 grain ammo. This has the little tool to take it apart, and this is actually the spring. They're just backwards in the bags there, but you do get both of those. And let's go ahead and move all that off to the side. We'll go ahead and bring the gun back in here. Oh yeah, one more thing. You also do get a 17 round Checkmate magazine as well. So let's go ahead and bring the gun back in here. And I gotta say, this is a really nice looking gun, but there is some stuff that's kind of a bit of a holdback on this gun. Just a few things. It's kind of like, what's up with that kind of deal here. And I guess we're gonna go ahead and go over this gun like we normally do. We'll go from the bottom to the top and we'll talk about the stuff I do like and a few things we don't like here. So I'm gonna start off on the bottom here. You do have a pretty nice mag well. I mean, it gets the job done. It's not gonna be just perfectly fit to the gun here. You can see you got a little bit of a lip right there. This part hangs over a little bit, and this mag well is plastic. So that's one of your cost savings right there to keep this gun in that $1,000 area right there. Now, it's not a bad mag well by no means. As you've seen there in the intro, it is easy enough to go ahead and slap mags into it. It's just over time, it's going to get chewed up and everything. So sure, you can replace that with an aluminum if you want to. So it's going to go ahead and bring us to the grip here, which is pretty cool here, how this is actually set up. It's kind of odd at the same time as these two screws on the bottom right here are actually fake and just molded into the grip to give it that kind of classic 1911 look there. Then you got some nice checkering on the sides here and the front and the back strap. Overall, this gun in the hand, it is nice and grippy. It's not going to move around a lot. So kind of I'm not going to say this is my favorite look because it's kind of a classic look on a modern style gun, but the fact that it's nice and grippy is pretty cool. And they kind of just went ahead and threw that in there to kind of tie it all together and make it look more like an old school 1911. That's pretty neat they did that. While we're talking about the grip here, it is not double undercut. You got a little bit of a bump right there, so it's kind of a little bit raised up, but not just a whole lot there. You can still get a nice, decent enough grip on this. The mag well also is going to push up on your hand to go ahead and lock it in. So pretty nice in that aspect. And while we're also talking about the grip here, we'll go ahead and talk about how it's blended back here. There is not any hot spots on this gun, which is pretty cool because I've actually messed with a lot of expensive guns that still end up with hot spots in a lot of these areas, and they'll actually rub the inside of your palm when you're shooting them. So that kind of sucks. So for the fact this gun doesn't have any of that going on, it's pretty nice. Go ahead and talk about the grip safety here. Grip safety is nice and smooth. It's a little bit stiff. That's something you can go in and tune yourself later on. Just pop the mainspring out and go ahead and adjust that. But it does have a little bit of texture right there, so you're going to get a good purchase on that when you're pressing in, so your hand's not going to slide around. So you're going to go ahead and disengage that nice and smoothly there. Let's see here, it moves. Let's go ahead and move on to the actual safeties here. Now, I'm not going to say these are the tightest fit safeties because as you can see there, I can't rest the full weight of the gun on the safeties. That's something I like to try to do to see if it'll do it, and it will not do it, but it is nice and positive in the up and down position. It's not going to be something you should have to worry about knocking on. It's just not the tightest safety. While we're talking about the safeties here, you do have equal paddle sizes for the left and right hand. So if you're left-handed, you're not going to get shafted on your safety size there. And then this side's going to be cut out so it clears your spring, or the little housing right here for the spring. and the plunger assembly right there that is activating that, and also your slide release right there. So got a nice set of safeties on there, nice and smooth, and like I said, positive there. Let's go ahead and move over here to the magazine release, and like any other 2011 you see me review, I'm always going to knock them for not putting the hole in there to go ahead and put the bigger button, because that can't cost them that much. But it is textured, and as you see there when I was doing the reload in the intro there, it wasn't a big deal. So we're going to go ahead and move to the slide release here. Does function just fine. You got a nice grip area right there to go ahead and drop the slide with. That actually, it looks exactly like the one that is actually in my Watchtower Demolition, so obviously should be a pretty good part there. So no issues with that. Then it's going to bring us down to the trigger here. I gotta say the trigger looks pretty cool on this. I'm more of a fan of a flat face trigger, and I usually like a more of a, not a medium, this is more of a medium trigger reach, and I do prefer the shorter ones because of my hand size, but to each their own there. That's going to fit more people than it is not going to fit. But let's go ahead and talk about the trigger feel here, because that is important here on a 2011 style gun. The gun, like I said, is unloaded. Got just a little bit of take up right there. You're on the wall. Got a nice crisp break. Nice positive reset. So you are having, or you do have a really nice crisp and clean break on the trigger there. It's coming in at a little over 2 pounds. I'll go ahead and insert that off to the side there so you can check that out. Let's see here. Let's talk about the slide fit now. So now this is something that's kind of a knock on this gun, because as nice as this gun does look, they got to save money somewhere, and I will say they did go ahead and save some money on the slide and barrel fit on this gun, because as you can hear here, I don't like the safety there. There is quite a bit of slop in the slide fit here, but as you can see there, even me showing you this, it did actually perform and shoot plenty accurate, as you can see there in the intro. But that is kind of annoying that they couldn't have just tightened that up a little bit, because I mean that's quite a bit. And as you can see here from the front, I mean that's just a little bit more than I feel like it would be considered okay. Especially, I mean, it's still a $1,000 gun. It's not like this is a $500 gun. For $1,000, I would have liked to see them tighten that up a little bit. And then what we're talking about fit here, that also goes for the barrel. The barrel itself here is kind of just jiggling around in the end of the slide here. It's almost like it's not fit at all. And that is something that costs you more money on something like a Staccato XC, is fitting this barrel comp to the slide, because this actually is a single piece barrel with the comp milled on the end of it. That all is one piece that's not threaded on there. And usually on the Staccato, you're paying more to have that fit. And the Staccato also has the island sight on it. So the fact that that is jiggling right there, I expect that's not going to make this the most accurate gun. I didn't put it on paper really, but it did shoot just fine. Just that's something I did note there, that does jiggle around. And I would have liked to have seen them fit that a little bit better, because as you can see there, it's not even wearing the finish on the slide, so it's almost like it's not touching it at all. So that is that. Now we're at the very top of the gun here. We're going to go ahead and talk about the sights. It does have a nice set of iron sights on this gun. The rear sight is fully adjustable. You do have, this one has the green installed on it. I'm not sure if it comes with the red or not. My buddy might have put the green one in there, but that's the one that's in it right now. Works just fine, nice and bright. You do have a blacked out target style sight, and as you can see there in the intro, plenty easy enough to shoot. And you can actually go ahead and take these 2 screws out here and pop that off, and you can go ahead and put a, what is it, a RMR or RMSC foot-printed red dot on there, something such as this CAD-X Pro here from Sealy Optics. You can go ahead and drop one of those on there and get you a red dot on this gun. So not my favorite footprint for a red dot on a gun that's full size like this, but when you get this dot right here, you're getting roughly the same window size as an RMR, like a full-size RMR, so it's not too big of a deal. It's just, that's another one of them things where they're saving price, or saving cost on the gun by not giving an optics plate there. Now, I will say another thing here, you're getting into the Staccato XC look here. You do have the, what the Staccato calls the X cuts. This is kind of to mimic that, and it's kind of cool how they step down in size all the way towards the front there. So those also give you good traction for slide serrations, as do the regular slide serrations on this gun. Now we talked about the fit of the slide. We'll talk about how smooth this slide is, and I will say this gun is extremely smooth. And one thing I found weird here is, let me grab one of these out of the case right here. Something that we tried just messing with this gun was actually putting one of these Wilson Combat shock buffers in this particular gun. And with the Fiocchi ammo, we started off shooting being a little bit hotter. It did run just fine with the spring that comes in the gun. And then we try to put this and shoot the ammo that I usually shoot in competition, which is going to be this Bellum 124 grain right here. And the gun would not cycle with this buffer in there at all. Once we took it out, it started cycling. Now I will say that the ejection pattern even without the buffer, is a little bit weak, and I was having the cases land on my arm. So spring right out of the box, not the best. It's a little bit stiffer than it needs to be. Even with the one that says it's for 124 grain ammo, it's actually a little bit stiffer than the one that's actually in the gun, and that would be the longer of the two. So I'm going to say if you're wanting to shoot a little bit lighter ammo, you're going to have to pick up a few different springs and go ahead and test that yourself and go ahead and figure out what your particular gun likes, because this one right here does not like running that ammo with the buffer in it, at least. But that's not the gun's fault. That didn't come from the factory. That's something we tried to mess with. Another thing I thought was kind of odd here is, even though that like I said, this kind of gun kind of jiggles on the slide a little bit, it's also, the frame itself is quite a bit narrower than the slide. I don't know if you can see that there, but all the way down, the slide is not, or is actually wider than the frame. That's not a big deal. It's just something I noted. And also right here on the front, it does not come completely flush with the end. I'll go ahead and try to insert a picture off of the side there. And if I can remember to get one, I'll get one of the bottom right here so you can get a better look at that as well, because it's not a big deal. Like I said, it's a $1,000 gun, but for $1,000, you'd expect a little bit more, I guess. So overall, it's a nice gun. Everything is fit on it, or fit well on it. But before I was about to close this out, one more thing I want to talk about here is, let's go ahead and show you how well this comp works. I did take some slow motion footage of this gun running with the comp, and it actually works extremely well. So I'll go ahead and insert that right here. Okay, as you can see there, this comp performs very well. You're getting roughly 1.5 inches of muzzle rise out of this particular setup, and that is really good compared to some of the more expensive guns I've tested. Now, I haven't actually tried a Staccato XC, but I would feel like this is going to be pretty close to that. And I feel like if they had went ahead and gave this the steel frame that you feel like it would have deserved, being a competition style gun, this gun would have been even flatter than it is. And that's not to say it's not flat. That definitely works pretty good. Or this comp works pretty good, but I think a little bit more weight would have helped with that. So let's go ahead and talk about a few more things here. We'll go ahead and close it off. We'll just kind of go brief over a few things. So gun is smooth. Everything's fit well on the gun. Has a really nice trigger. Grip feels good. Overall, it's a nice gun. Now, it's kind of be one of those, it's going to be a little bit hard to recommend, because there is so many other guns that are in this price point that I've messed with that are a little bit more, a little bit less, that are actually nicer than this, like fit and finish wise, in my opinion. It's not to say that this Cerakote doesn't look pretty nice. It's just overall, I feel like they could have probably made this an $1,100 gun and went ahead and fitted a little bit tighter and just fixed a few things on it. This gun would have just been absolutely awesome. I'm not saying it's a bad gun. If you pick one of these up, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. But if you've ever messed with anything that's fit and finished a little bit better than this, you're just kind of going to be a little bit let down. And I will say that I'm trying to get my hands on a Mac 9DS comp, and that is roughly the exact same price point as this. And based off my previous experience with the standard Mac, I feel like it's going to be just a little bit of a step above this. So hopefully we'll get our hands on that pretty soon, and you'll be able to check that out. And well, that's really all I had for you today. I mean, if you're looking to pick one of these up, I mean, that's going to be up to you. If you didn't see anything here that detects or makes you not want to buy one, I guess you go ahead and pick you one up. I think you'll be happy with it. I just feel like there's other stuff that you can spend your money on that's going to be in the same price point that might be a little bit nicer. That's all I had for you today. Okay, if you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're looking for more Fun and Gun right now, you can click one of the 2 recommended videos there. If you're looking for more Fun and Gun later, you can go ahead and click that there subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. And if you're finding me from Facebook, go ahead and click that open app button at the top to make all that a lot easier, and I'll see you next time.